see you later tonight.
Meek deals. Base hit to right field. Here comes Richardson. Here's the throw from Markakis. Richardson is safe. Derek Jeter ends his final game with a walk-off single.
The 1-1 for Tyson. Batista with a drive. Deep left field. No doubt about it.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Chasing 2 podcast. I'm Blake Frazier alongside Dylan Smith, episode number 21. Dylan, there's so much to talk about. We're going to break this down into two parts. So we'll release part one later tomorrow afternoon, and we'll release part two later on in the week. But Dylan, we have to start with this Nolan Arenado trade. When I first saw this, the first thing I said is this is one of the biggest fleece jobs in that I've seen in a long time. The one that comes to mind was when Josh Donaldson went to the Blue Jays for Brett Lawrie and a couple of prospects. It wasn't much, but when you look at this trade, and it came out a couple of days ago that Colorado's going to be paying all of Nolan Arenado's salary this year, basically paying him to play against you in a sense. What a steal this is for the Cardinals. Huge get for them. And what was your reactions when you saw that trade?
Well, obviously it's a game-changing move for the Cardinals. Nobody's really pulled away in that NL Central the whole offseason. So here we are. Now they get Nolan Arenado. I think that puts them to be the favorites. I mean, he's a superstar player. He's generational talent.
Yep.
Taking on the contract wasn't a big deal because they got $51 million back.
I know.
Which is insane. I don't know what the Rockies where they go from here, what the purpose of doing that was.
We'll get to the Rockies in a little bit, but when you look at what they gave up, Austin Gomber, who pitched some this year,
he's good, he's decent,
good.
Yeah, he's young,
he's 27, but for Nolan Arenado, they didn't get one top 30 prospect from this Cardinal system. No, they could have maybe built the deal around what is that? Dylan Carlson. They got Gorman at third base. You could have built the deal around there, but nothing. Like there's no top prospects, and you're getting a guy, like you said, a generational talent guy that's won 5 platinum gloves, 8 gold gloves. This guy does it all at the hot corner.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I don't know what the Rockies are doing here.
Well, I'll tell you what the Rockies are doing. They're getting rid of a big contract and money.
They saved $150 million, right? I mean,
they did, but I mean, they're paying the whole salary for Arenado this season. The Cardinals, they're paying the Cardinals for Arenado to play for them. What if he wins the MVP this year? Which is possible. Say he's healthy, he wins the MVP.
100%.
They just paid $50 million, for Arenado to win an MVP on not even their team.
Oh man, I have never seen a trade like this in a long time. Like a pay your whole salary for a whole season. You sometimes see like we'll retain like $10 million this year, but
I would think that I honestly, when I saw this deal, I thought that Matt Carpenter was definitely going the other way.
True.
I thought Matt Carpenter's contract was going the other way to offset some money, but he's still a Cardinal, and they're getting him for I think $23 million AAV. Which is a steal.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, there's not much other. I know you don't like this comparison, but Springer is going to get paid more from the Blue Jays than Arenado is going to be from the Cardinals. And I mean, at the end of the day,
you take Arenado.
Who would you rather have?
Yeah, you take Arenado. Like, I don't know. Like we talked about the Blue Jays getting Arenado. The Blue Jays could have put together a way better package in this. Like, I don't know what the thinking was. And apparently no other team offered a trade, which is really weird. But like the Cardinals, this is a huge get for them. You got Goldschmidt. Hopefully you bring back Yadi Molina. Who do you think would play second base? Do you think it'd be Tommy Edman, or do you think it'd be Carpenter?
Oh, second base for them right now. I don't even know who's on their roster right now. We could check that out real quick. Let's see.
Because Colton Wong's a UFA. That's just what I'm kind of thinking right there, right?
Yeah, and I know that they've had some interest of bringing him back. So,
because Tommy Edman can kind of play short, second. He can play a little bit of left field too. So I'm thinking if they don't bring back Colton Wong, You can probably put Carpenter over at second. You can put Tommy Edman in the outfield, I guess.
Yeah, well, DeYoung also is going
The
to play
young
short.
he
So,
plays short.
I mean, you would assume you could play Edmund at second,
Yeah.
but I think they, we'll see. Let's see here. 40-man roster. We got Edmund, DeYoung, Carpenter, like you
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, those are their middle infield options right now.
Mm-hmm.
Just glancing at it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So
definitely interesting. I could see them definitely adding
yeah.
and playing Carpenter as like a platoon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe they get a Jonathan Scope or something
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that maybe you can slide Carpenter and Scope over at second base.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of thinking of some possible opportunities here. But yeah, anyway, doesn't matter. Depth is a good thing to have.
Oh yeah.
Questions of who you're gonna play, those are always good questions.
For
So,
sure.
um, the Rockies, on the other hand, I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I
Let's.
don't like this
Yeah.
trade on their behalf.
For sure.
I rather have just, even if you had to eat more money to get premier prospects or give more up,
Yeah.
maybe pair Herman Marquez or something to get elite prospects,
Yeah.
I would be willing to do it.
It's crazy.
But I'm not the GM of the Rockies,
For
so
sure. Everybody loves to be an armchair GM, but let's
yeah.
just talk about this for a second. So Arenado signs what, a 8 year extension in the spring of 2019. Okay. And in the winter of 2019, he all of a sudden wants out. So I'm not sure what he was really expecting. I mean, Colorado hasn't had a track record of being good consistently, right? They made the playoffs in 2018.
Well, they were hanging in there for
They were,
a good
yep,
3-4 year stretch with Arenado, Blackman,
true.
and then Story's upcoming. So they just never had the pitching get over the hump. They tried to make that super pen, didn't work
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
And at one point they had a window. They had a window.
Mhm.
Not sure that they did the best moves to take that next step to be a championship team, but they were a very good team for a while. I think Arenado felt, hey, we were great, or not great. We were very good the year before. Then they had a crappy year. He signed an extension. He thought, you know what, we're gonna start trending in the right direction again, and they ended up turning back around and
So,
going the
like, I'm
opposite
thinking
direction.
like something happened though. Like, you don't just
Oh
sign.
yeah, I'm sure Arenado was just like, get me out of here. I
You
don't want
don't
to be here.
just sign a 7 year extension, and at the end of the year, you just like all of a sudden you want out. Like, there's some dialogue that
Oh,
we're
there's
missing there.
definitely. I mean, we're definitely missing some context, but I
Yeah.
think it's pretty safe to assume that there probably was some type of, hey, I want out of this.
Yeah.
And the Rockies said, you know what, you're this unhappy.
So
You know,
the Rockies pay $50 million to get rid of Arenado, basically a capped up in a sense. You got
Yeah.
Trevor Story, who is a UFA at the end of this year. They kind of backed themselves into a corner because if you're Trevor Story, you're saying, okay, they share Arenado. I don't want to be here anymore. And you're
yeah, and
really
they're
probably not
saying,
going to get much from him anyway.
oh, I don't know about that.
Well,
I
I mean,
think you
like,
get,
you would get more from him if you would have traded him last winter, correct?
maybe, but I mean, his salary, he's not making that much money, so it's a lot
True.
easier to trade him. It's
That
just
is
like
true.
this is not the greatest example, but Luis Castillo, for example, he's making $4 million right now,
Yeah.
and he's the elite arm.
Yeah.
So that money does come into play here. It's a lot easier contract to just fit into your roster, and they're gonna probably try to swing a deadline or swing a deal at the deadline, I should say. And if not, they'll qualify offer him,
Or
and
if
they'll
you're
get prospects anyway.
if you're the Rockies, do you try to build around Story? Right, he's still
No,
young. I think he's gone. Right. What?
there's no player right now that they. I think they do full rebuild. I
Yeah,
don't
you
understand.
have to. You
I don't
have
think
to.
that there's any reason not to at this point.
Yeah. So what do you do with a guy like Blackman?
Blackman's screwed
Yeah, I
unless somebody's going to take his contract.
like. There's a team doesn't.
I'm pretty sure that they're mutual options though. Towards his contract is interesting. It has options in it. Let's
Okay.
look it up real quick.
Okay.
I could find this quick. I have looked at this before.
I'm gonna look it up too, just in case. Yeah, he signed a 6-year deal. And in 20. Let me see here. He's got 2022 and 2023 player options for 21 million and 13 million.
Yeah, so maybe he picks up that 21, but I could see him maybe saying, you know what, this isn't a good situation for me. I
Yeah.
want to try to win a ring.
Yeah.
13 million, I probably can get close to that on the market.
And he'll be 36
I mean,
too, right? So
yeah, and at the end of the day, I mean, Jock Peterson, which we'll get to, just got 7.
yeah.
Blackman's a better player than Peterson. You're looking at least 10. So what? Maybe he loses 3 million. I know
Yeah.
to us that's a big deal, but to a guy that's already made see his whole career, his earnings, at least 108 million is what his contract is. So.
Yeah, he signed a 6-year, 108 mil. Yeah. So I don't know. If you're a Rockies fan, I feel sorry for you. I feel for that fan base right now. They basically just gave away the face of the franchise for 10 cents on the dollar.
Yeah.
It's tough. You're probably going to lose Story too. And once was a nice team. Like, I mean, they had
a core. They definitely
had
a core.
They had Gonzalez, they had Blackman, they had Tulowitzki, Arenado. Like, they had a good core together.
At the end of the day, though, it's a tough place to pitch,
It
and
is.
they need to figure out a way how to produce
pitchers,
good pitchers, and draft big time guys.
Develop pitchers, you mean?
Yeah. They need to be able to develop and
yeah.
Have it come to the system or trade for high level prospects,
Yeah.
I think that they could have got more for Arenado before the contract extension, but I also get that, this is your guy. It's just like the Angels giving Mike Trout 400 million.
Yeah.
That's your guy.
You basically
you're not going to let him walk.
A blank check. What do you right? So
yeah, and I feel like the Rockies kind of did the same thing, but the ownership, it's a middle market team, and
the Rockies were kind of in a tough spot too, because you had that opt out at the end of this year, right? For Arenado,
yeah.
He could have opted out, and now he still has that opt out with the Cardinals, and then he can opt out in 2022. Also,
let's not overlook that he also was hurt in this 2020 season.
Yeah, he had that shoulder problem.
Yeah, he had a shoulder issue. Do I think he's going to bounce back from that? I do, but they're valuing him off of a down year, so they're not getting, the high. If he would have came out and was top 3 in the MVP, you're getting a better package than what you got, 100%, in my opinion.
1,000%. Yeah.
So
let's stick with the Cardinals. They bring back Adam Wainwright, a team that he's known for his whole career, hasn't pitched in another uniform. They bring him back on a 1-year, $8 million deal. This makes too much sense. I think they're going to do something similar with Yadi Molina. This is a good ad for the Cardinals.
Yeah, the price was kind of high, $8 million for Wainwright, but like I said, it goes back to that's their guy.
Yeah,
and you're gonna pay your guy. You're gonna take care. It's just like, I'm wearing this Laker gear, but just when Kobe tore his Achilles, Lakers still wrote him a check for roughly $30 million for winning 5 championships.
Yep. Yeah, no, 100%. Yep.
At the end of the day, you're gonna take care of those guys. They are part of history of your culture. They're fan favorites. They are Cardinals baseball. So, I think this should be it for Waino. I think this is a good farewell check for him. And
sure.
Let's go out there, give it all in the tank, and let's call it a career. I like the move. I mean, like I said, $8 million, steep price, but it is what it is. Let's
talk about the Philadelphia Phillies here for a second. They bring back JT Realmuto on a 5-year deal, $115 million. There was talks that they didn't have much money to bring him back. They bring in Dave Dombrowski, but in the end of the day, they end up bringing JT Realmuto back. That's a huge ad for them. Bring back that primary catcher for them. And what was your thoughts on the price? You think it was around the right price?
Yeah, I think it's pretty fair. I mean, he's the best catcher in baseball, and we're not in, when Russell Martin broke that. Obviously, the contracts are just going to keep going up.
Yep.
If you're a premier player, so I think Yasmani Grandal beat the AAV. If that might not be correct.
I think Grandal. I want to say Grandal got like 20 something.
It's 18. I think it's 18 or something. Okay. I think that's the highest AAV. It might have been Russell Martin. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Russell Martin
Anyways,
signed a
now it's JT
5
Realmuto at the end of the day. Now it's JT Realmuto.
Yeah.
And, they're not going to get paid the same as a shortstop or a center fielder.
Yeah.
But he got paid $100 million man. He's a catcher. And he got a nice contract. I mean, there's nothing to really complain about here. It seemed that he really enjoyed his time with Philly, and I'm sure that led him back to where he wanted to be.
Yeah.
And it's a great ad, but I mean, did the Phillies get any better? I mean, they
added a little bit on the bullpen, right?
Yeah. Okay, so they got Real Muto back, so we're back to even. I would say we're back to square one.
Yeah.
Now, how do we get better? And now, I mean, realistically, there's only a handful of real free agents that can really take you to that next level. I feel like the Phillies would be a team that could be a sleeper for Bauer if they're willing to open the checkbooks. But, I'm not sure. I mean, they just lost Arrieta, who I think was making roughly $20 million a year.
Yep. He signed a 3-year, 75.
Maybe they go after a Paxton or Odorizzi. I don't know. But to me, the Phillies should be a sleeper on some of these players that can help you. They didn't get Hand. They didn't get I
think they were in on Doolittle too, I want to say.
Yeah, Doolittle got signed today. Obviously Raisel Iglesias was traded. Ottavino was traded.
Yep.
There's a lot more relievers that got signed, but Darren O'Day. But these are guys that you would expect them to
like
really try hard at.
Colomé still out there. Maybe he's a fit.
Kirby Yates, another one.
Yeah, Kirby Yates signed with the Blue Jays.
So to me, they had the worst bullpen in worst bullpen in MLB history.
Who did they pick up? They got Alvarado from Tampa, and there's that other righty. They got
Archie Bradley.
Archie Bradley, yeah. So that's two good pieces out of it, but I mean that's only two pieces to a really bad
Jose Alvarez.
bullpen.
I think that Sir Anthony Dominguez will be back at some point this year.
Yeah.
They have Hector Neris right now.
Yeah.
So those are 5 off the top of my head.
But I mean the starting rotation. I mean you got
you got Vince Velasquez behind Nola and Wheeler. And then you have Zach Eflin, and
that's about it.
That's what I'm saying.
There's not much depth there. So
to me, the Phillies have not gotten better.
So okay,
but I mean, Alec Baum full season, and
true. Yep.
We'll see how Reese plays, and Harper and McCutcheon's back, and I mean, they got Didi back that we're going to talk about right now. Didi 2 years, $28 million.
Yep.
So let's jump into that. I think that's a really good signing.
Yep.
Lefty power bat. He's a good player.
Unbelievable player.
Specifically for his bat, his defense is hit or miss, but his bat is big in that lineup. To me, pitching for the Phillies. You got
to get a starter here. Like
they got to get creative. They don't have a good farm system either. That Dombrowski can just start trading players. So
it's a little different for Dave right now. I mean, he's used to having that prospect to trade, and right now it's kind of bare. Yeah,
so I agree with that for sure. It's definitely gonna be interesting. They need some prospects, but they also need. McCutcheon, I believe, is a free agent at the end of the year, so maybe they wait until the next year.
They got some money coming off the books for sure. Yeah, 100%.
Kershaw. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they just take this year to build. They might.
So the Blue Jays added another impact bat. Marcus Semien goes to Toronto on a 1-year, $18 million contract. When I saw this deal, I was like, okay, you're getting a guy who was third in MVP voting in 2019, right? And he had a down year in 2020. He was injured, didn't really find his stride. Did well in the playoffs, though, but the Blue Jays got the money to spend. $18 million is a lot of money. It's a 1-year deal. I don't mind this for the Blue Jays at all.
Yeah, I don't mind it at all, other than the fact that it's $18 million. You look at a guy like Didi that we were just talking about. They got 2 years, $28 million. Yeah. Obviously, Didi's never been a top 3 MVP vote, but to me, looking at the Jays lineup,
they need a left-handed bat.
They need a left-handed bat. But Semien is a better defensive player and can put up similar. He hit 30 homers, I believe, one time.
Yeah.
But you would think he'd hit similar production to Didi from the right side.
Well, and that he hit 33 homers in a in a deep Oakland ballpark too. I mean,
Yeah,
he's
he did.
going into 5 hitter friendly ballparks in the AL East, so maybe it's that'd be good for him.
But the playoffs definitely helped his value because he did not have a
100%.
good season.
No,
So,
no,
I like the deal. I do. I like the guy and the fit.
yeah.
I mean, the fit's kind of weird, but now
You
that I
play,
thought
like you're
about it,
playing second base, right?
yeah,
Completely different position.
yeah. But at the end of the day, it is a 1 year, 18 mil. There's no such thing as a bad 1 year contract, but it is going to affect your books for this year. So
Mhm.
you have to view it as, hey, not sure we're going to be getting Bauer. We might get a Odorizzi or Paxton.
Yeah, I mean that's what you got to hope for. I mean, in a perfect world, if the Blue Jays could add a left-handed bat, right, or um, go out and get Taiwan Walker, bring him back, or sign an Odorizzi, I think that would be a successful offseason
Well,
for the Blue
left-handed
Jays.
bats are falling off the board pretty
Well,
quickly
I
here.
mean, would it be bad to bring in a Colton Wong? I don't know.
Where's he going to play?
Yeah, that is true.
He's not. You're not
Well,
getting Colton Wong no more. It's gonna be an outfield bat. It's gonna be an outfield bat. You know, Jock
Josh
was signed.
Reddick.
Eddie Rosario was signed. It leaves you with Reddick or Markakis,
Yeah,
which
Markakis
wouldn't
wouldn't
be
be bad.
bad.
That wouldn't be bad at all.
But like guys like that, tail end of the career left-handed bat, kind of
Yeah.
like when you guys got Curtis Granderson.
Yeah, yeah.
Something like that. And really, they're kind of stacked in the outfield right now too. So really, there's no.
Yeah, I know. Like it's tough. I would have loved to get Jock. That would have been a good fit for the Jays, and for the price. I mean,
Yeah.
cheap, right? We'll get to that later on. Let's go to Simba. Andrelton Simmons, you know him well. He's
Yeah.
played in the Angels the last few years. He goes to the Twins on a 1 year, $10.5 million deal. Goes in there. He can play elite defense for the Twins, shores up that infield defense. What do you think of that deal?
I think it's a good deal for the Twins. It's a good fit. It's
Yeah.
definitely a good fit. They're a team that needs help defensively a bit, and they cut ties with Eddie Rosario, like we said before, which played the outfield. But they're just trying to get their defense better. And now you got Donaldson if
That
he's
left
healthy, and
side of the
Simba on the
infield's
left
pretty
side.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the left
Yeah.
side's looking pretty
I mean,
good.
he was just with Anthony Rendon. It's not much different. I
Yeah.
mean, Rendon's a better defender than Donaldson, but
Yeah, yeah.
he's gonna play premier defense at the end of the day, and hit if he's healthy, he's gonna hit around 280. So
With what, 15 bombs, 10 to 15 homers?
yeah, I mean he's definitely going to a more hitter friendly ballpark to the left side. I mean the ball kind of flies at target field to left field.
Yeah.
So maybe he can crack 15 plus. We'll see. But overall, it's a good move for him. 1 year, that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
You would think that a guy like that would at least get a 3 year deal.
Yeah.
And you're stapling him in to your culture.
Mhm.
I feel like he's more of a culture player than he is like a 1 year rental. Like you
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
But hey, I guess he's gonna hit the free agency market again next year, and we'll see what happens. Maybe this is a Moustakis type of thing.
So Kike Hernandez, who was a super utility player for the Dodgers his whole career, he goes to the Red Sox, 2 years, $14 million deal. This is really good value for the Red Sox. Guy who can play everywhere on the diamond. Kind of like he's a better Brock Hole in a sense, right? The Red Sox had him for a long time, but I love this deal for the Red Sox. It's a great deal.
Yeah, I love it more for Kike Hernandez. I think that he's a player that, wanted everyday playing time, and I think rightfully deserves a shot. So I think this is a great signing for Kike Hernandez.
It's a good opportunity, big opportunity for him, right?
I mean, he crushes lefties. Plus, you got the monster there. I mean, if he could figure it out against righties, which we really haven't really got a chance to see that much in the past couple of years.
Yeah, he's just been a platoon player.
Yeah, we're going back to his old teammate, Jock, which we'll get into, but quickly, he's going to get the chance to hit against lefties, you would think.
Yeah.
So now these guys are moving out of a platoon role and getting that chance to shine. Obviously, if something comes up, Kike can also play the outfield, play short, so it gives him flexibility. I think this is a great deal for the Kike. And for the Red Sox, you're giving a guy that brings energy every day.
Yep.
He was a spark plug for the Dodgers. I think it's going to be a big loss, energy-wise for the Dodgers. So
in the room too.
Yeah, it's just in the clubhouse, I feel like every teammate of his loves him. So This is a good move for the Red Sox, especially guys, the veteran guys that kind of need some youth. I mean, Kike's not that young, but he brings you that youth energy. So yeah, I love it. And then of course they got Garrett Richards on a 1 year, $10 million.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you.
Um,
You saw him come up with the Angels. I mean,
yeah,
He had Tommy John. He had some arm issues. He goes to San Diego on a 2-year deal. He missed that first year with them. Came back last year, right? What is your? I think $10 million is a lot of money for a guy like Garrett Richards right now. But I mean, he's got good stuff. So he's got
well,
really.
yeah, it's the upside. I mean, his upside is really high. I mean, this guy has plus stuff. I
Yeah.
mean, there's no debate about that. It's just control and health. Um, can can he find himself and be in tune with his mechanics? They're kind of a little bit of wild mechanics and
Yeah. Yeah.
hard to repeat. But he's got a disgusting breaking ball, and I think they need pitching. The Red Sox need pitching. I mean,
I think they just threw money at a pitcher and hope they'd sign. I think that's what they did with
stuck.
Richards and stuck. So hopefully they catch lightning in a ball with Richards. He pitched out of
They brought back Martin Perez too, so they've been active.
He pitched out of the pen, correct, in San Diego?
In the playoffs.
In the playoffs, yeah. So
during the season, I think he had like a 4.03 or 4.30, something like that ERA.
Yeah.
So still
solid.
average.
I mean, yeah, it's
Yeah,
solid.
I mean,
respectable for sure.
Yeah. So
sticking with the Red Sox, I mean, they had their reliever issues last year. They go out and trade for Adam Ottavino, a rare Yankees Red Sox trade, first one since 2004. Ottavino, I think he's getting paid $12 million a year. Allows the Yankees to save some money, and the Red Sox get a closer. I like this deal too.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an interesting one out of left field. I was not expecting this.
Yeah. No, for sure.
To me, the Yankees right now have gotten worse.
They have 100%.
They've gotten worse, and now you're taking the whole reason why I would say that they have an up on paper on the teams in the AL East is because their bullpen's so deep.
Yeah.
And it seems that bullpen's starting to, start.
Well, they lost
breaking off chips.
They lost Canely. They lost Ottavino.
Yeah.
I mean, they still got.
They still got
Green, Chapman, Britton.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still gonna be good.
Oh, they just got Darren O'Day though.
They got O'Day. That's a good ad. Yeah.
They basically replaced Ottavino's $12 million
and for only
$3 million. Yeah. Darren O'Day. So actually, I'll take that back. I completely forgot about that signing until it clicked right now. So yeah, you know what? I like it. I like it. I'm backtracking my original.
Let's talk about the Yankees here quick before we wrap up the first part of this episode.
I have a question before we end too.
Oh, okay, sure.
The Yankees first.
Okay. Tanaka goes back to Japan, right? There was lots of talks of him maybe going to Toronto. Toronto offered him a 3-year deal. There was talks about him maybe going to who was it? I think the Giants were interested in him too. The Yankees didn't really have much interest in bringing him back. They said that his stuff was declining the last few years, but I don't know. Like I just found it hard to believe that this guy couldn't find a home in MLB.
Yeah, I think that the money talks. I mean,
he wanted $20 million. Like,
yeah, no, he's not worth $20 million at the MLB level. I'm
no,
sorry.
No,
he has a slightly torn UCL. He's been pitching with it for years.
Yeah,
that's a big $20 million roll of the dice risk for any team.
Yeah,
because he's had UCL problems. I mean, there's no other way to put it. I would have given him 13 million max, maybe 15.
Yeah,
just because of the market and where it's at, and he is one of the better pitchers in the market.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? He had a good career in the MLB.
He did have a good run. Yeah. 100%.
And now he's going to go back to Japan and he's going to be a star over there.
He's going to ride off into the sunset.
Exactly. So I like it for Tanaka. As for the Yankees, they rebuttal with, okay, let's make a trade. And they traded for Jameson Taillon.
Yeah.
Which I don't even think stepped on the mound last year.
He didn't.
So
no, he didn't pitch at all.
I believe I saw a stat. They signed somebody else too. So Kluber, Taillon, and somebody else.
Well, Kluber, Taillon, and Severino.
Oh, yeah. So Severino's coming back. So out of all three of those pitchers,
They didn't pitch at all.
combined, they've pitched 1 inning.
Yeah,
Since
in the last
2020.
So
So
their rotation, it's decent on paper, but there's a lot
on
of question
paper
marks.
it looks
There's a lot of question marks.
like it could do it.
If Kluber's 2016 to 2018 Kluber, sure. I mean, you got a good number 2 starter. Severino, he's got
You got an ace if he's that. You got an ace.
But like I'm saying, like you don't know what you're gonna get with Severino coming off Tommy John. You don't know what you're gonna get with Kluber when he's pitched 5 starts the last 2 years. And then Tyon, who just had Tommy John too. So there's lots of risks. We'll see how it pays out. What's your question?
I want to know who's playing shortstop for the Oakland A's. Is what I want to play. I want to see because all 3 of the shortstops are off the board now. They're gone.
Simeon, Didi, Simba.
Yeah, and they were all on a wave. They were all one big. They're gone.
They went in the same day. I think.
Yeah.
Simeon was the first, maybe I think Simba was the first.
It was but 2 days.
Bang,
they
bang,
were all gone, and we've been waiting all off season. Where are these shortstops going to go?
Yeah.
And we got Oakland that needs a shortstop. Okay.
The Reds.
Need a shortstop. The Reds need a shortstop. They just traded for some
26-year-old prospect.
Yeah. They just traded for some guy.
Yeah.
Brewers kind of need a shortstop unless they want to run back with Arcia.
Yeah, I don't know who, like the Oakland A's. We talked about this last.
Who's playing shortstop?
They got a lot worse. Worse.
There's a couple teams that need shortstops right now, and Freddie Galvis went to the Orioles.
Yeah,
now Freddie Galvis was your insurance. Like we can't get these 3 top shortstops. Let's make a run at Freddie Galvis, and he was signed. He went to the Orioles.
Like could Jonathan Scope play short? Or is he more of a second base?
No, he's a second baseman.
Like I'm just trying to think here. Like there's not really much available. Let's go look at the free agent tracker here.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do here.
Shortstop, free agents. Let's see here.
Shortstop. Here we go. We have Joe Panic, who's really a second baseman. Addison Russell, Eric Sogard, and Jonathan VR.
Yeah, like that.
Per MLB trade rumors. Those are your shortstop options.
That's it.
Unless you're going to throw D. Gordon over at short. Or Colton Wong, you're going to try to play him at short. Marwin Gonzalez can play short, but, I mean, he's really big and he's not really good. At that stage
of his career, too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to put him over there.
Danny Santana is not good defensively. You can put him at shortstop. Asdrubal Cabrera, I mean, these are not. This is not good.
Oakland might have to trade for one.
Who are you trading for? There's nobody. I mean, you could make a big trade for Story, but he's gone after the season.
Yeah, I don't think they want to do that.
Yeah, they're not going to do that. I can't name you.
Like
shortstop right now.
Let's go look at
maybe Nick Ahmed. I just brought him up. Maybe Nick Ahmed from the Diamondbacks. He's really good defensively. Maybe that's a guy that can be.
Let's go look. 40 man here. I'm just gonna.
I mean, there's Javi.
Just to look.
I mean, but that's gonna cost.
Depth charts. So right now it's short. They have Nate Orff and Vimiel Manchin. Never heard of those guys. So
this is Oakland.
Yes, Oakland. I've never heard of those guys. That's what they have. Well, let's see. Maybe can Chad Pinder play short?
He's more of a third base.
He could play second and third.
Hey, maybe we get Matt Chapman at short. I don't know.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, he could maybe slide over.
Maybe Pinder's the third and Chapman moves to short. Kind of like I'm expecting Bregman to do once.
Well, that's kind of what Manny Machado did when he went to San Diego, correct?
Yeah, until Tatis came up.
He went from short to third too, so it just kind of reversed there. But yeah, that'll do it for part 1 of episode 21. Thank you guys all for listening. We'll be back for part 2.
All right, take care, guys.